Doesn't it sound like heaven to love your teen so well that they can't help themselves but love you back? Welcome to Pivot Parenting. I'm your host, Heather Frazier. And together, you and I are going to build more peace and joy so that your family looks forward to being together in the fun times and so that you are strong enough to overcome any obstacle that your family might face. This is where small weekly shifts that you implement create lasting change so that peace and happiness can truly abound in your home. Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's episode. I have a decently huge announcement for you toward the end of the episode, but it's not going to make a lot of sense if I tell you now, or at least it will make less sense without the context of this particular episode. So I want you to listen in as I explain how to dial in your inner guides, and we'll get to the big reveal sooner than you think. I hope that your summer is going well. I cannot believe it is already August, and I hope that you have made some fun summer memories with your family. Today we're talking about parental confusion, how to make decisions, and by us learning this skill, we are parallel teaching our children the same skill. Whether we articulate it to them or not, they will see our decisiveness, our guidance, our groundedness, and peace, which is a lesson in and of itself. Because confusion, my friend, is very common. I don't know if you've noticed this. Confusion, overwhelm, freezing out because you don't know what to do, and having indecision. Because a lot of times there are a lot of choices that could work, or maybe there are no viable choices, and so we just spin and spin, trying to have our cake and eat it too. So a teen will ask to go on a trip with their bestie's family, and they're rather convincing. They want a phone because, hello, everybody has one. You're unsure how to support them in their breakup, SAT prep, trying out for a play or a team. Do you have them continue piano lessons or basketball team, scouts, church when they push against it? I remember giving my mother no end of grief, wanting to quit piano. I'm grateful that she listened to me because I still have no regrets. Everybody says you'll regret not being able to play. I really don't. I really don't. I have no musical ability. It was not made for me. But I do have a piano that my kids sometimes play on. And when I want to hear the piano played, I got a piano with a player. So it plays whatever I want for me. And it's amazing. What do you say to them when they have been betrayed by a friend, or when they ask you about what they've observed in your marriage or the family's past, when they want to know about intimacy and what that means, what they just heard, or whatever it is? There are so many ways to slice how to interact with our children, how to parent them. And with so many opinions that could make sense, or no opinions at all that seem to make sense, sometimes we find ourselves at a loss as to what to do. Imagine your teen walking into the room and your heart skips a beat because you're so excited to see them. Just connection, love, and peace flowing between you. You're confident that no matter their mood, it's going to be okay. This is the powerful skill set my clients gain. Book a free Discover Your Disconnection Pattern call with me, and I will outline your exact process to find the peace, connection, and confidence in your teen and their future you're wanting. Visit my website, heatherfrazier.com, or click the link in the show notes. Remember, Frazier is spelled with a Z-I in the middle. I look forward to meeting and helping you. What do we do, my friends, when we have so many opinions that could make sense or no ideas that make sense whatsoever? When we are trying to make a decision or move forward in something, or we're feeling stuck or confused, here's what we usually spin in. It could be black and white thinking, all or nothing. If there's a misstep, all will be lost. No recovery, permanent damage made. Or I can guarantee a good outcome with the right words. If I can do the exact right, proper thing, then everything will be fine. This friend is all bad. This decision is all bad. This decision would be all good. Rarely is all or nothing black or white thinking accurate, because life is not so easy. Life is convoluted and multifaceted, and there can be good and bad in every decision that we make to varying degrees and for different people. Another thing that we can get stuck in is thinking that one answer will solve all the problems and the other will be all doom and despair. And this is really easy to do when we're super dysregulated, when our brain is thinking life or death, a lot is on the line. Our brains really like certainty, but it's not really a thing as humans. Nothing is super certain except obviously death and taxes. So thinking that if we can hack the formula, that there's a cheat code and we just need to figure it out, then everything will be good. Like if I can prevent them from sneaking out, then everything will be good. If I can convince them that staying in music lessons is beneficial to them, then everything will be good. Not necessarily. Another thing that we humans get stuck in is considering how others will feel. And we make decisions and have thoughts about how to keep everyone happy. Or how do I get them to do what I want, or see me or my kids how I want, or get my kids to see life or this decision how I want? How can I get everyone to buy into my perspective, that I am good, that my kid is good, that my opinion in this matter is the correct opinion, and be happy about it? I want everyone to be happy, and I want to make a decision that paints me and my family in a good light. That can get really confusing when we're trying to control how other people view us and the world. Really confusing. Another one that we get stuck in is searching for an answer that keeps everyone happy, that pleases everyone. We want 100% satisfaction, not just cons and not just pros. We want the answer that's all pros. Again, this usually doesn't exist. Wanting something that doesn't exist spins us in indecision, in confusion, in overwhelm. And I see this in session with clients a lot because they want an answer that doesn't upset their teenager, or that they can tell their parents to butt out, and their parents are like, oh, you're right, and I overstepped a bound, and I shouldn't be, saying that to your kid or whatever. Nope. There are very rarely things that we can have our cake and eat it too. We don't need to spin in indecision and confusion because our brain wants to land somewhere that's 100% awesome. That's a unicorn, and we shouldn't usually wait for that. And then oftentimes another thing that we do is we are using too much logic or too much whimsy, or like not planning, not acting, not really doing anything. We just throw it to the universe and get on with our day. Typically, life needs us to balance that to some degree. And for some situations, we might need more or less of either of those things. But we do need to do hard things, and then we also need to let things go. Thinking that things should 100% be logical usually silences our intuition, because intuition is often seemingly illogical. Another thing that we do is we will make choices or parent when we are dysregulated. If we're in fight or flight, freeze, fawn. So when they hound you like crazy until you snap and turn into fight, or when you just want them to leave you alone and stop thinking about it, you're fleeing from them, you're in flight. When you want them to like you, or you want their friends to like you, you might be fawning. And if you just avoid it altogether, you might be freezing. These are all totally normal responses. It means you have a healthy brain, but it just is misfiring. It's thinking that there's a very dangerous threat that it's trying to help you with. And that's why it's really important to regulate. So I've got 4 easy little steps here. The first one is to regulate your nervous system, to make sure, if you can, that you are calm. You can channel the spirit or intuition when you're dysregulated, but it is usually easier when you are regulated, and it's always easier to tell the difference of what is you freaking out versus what your intuition is, if you can calm yourself down. Rarely are things actually life or death. Rarely. It happens, but rarely. And so to be able to calm down so that you can see if your brain is doing any of those sneaky little confusing habits that I just covered for you. Because those habits make it really hard to discern your intuition. And one of perhaps the hardest things that we have to overcome, my friend, is society, culture, even religion telling us to not trust our gut instinct, our inner spirit, the light of Christ that every man, woman, child is given to guide them. Systems, including churches and other organizations and groups of people and cultures who do not want us to trust our intuition, will tell us to not listen to it. Will tell us that we should listen to them as the primary, all-knowing source of light and information. And sometimes other people and organizations can be very enlightening and very helpful, but we never ever want to tamp down, disquiet, ignore our God-given intuition. Regulating, and I teach my clients how to do this all the time. Regulate your nervous system. This can be singing and dancing. It can be journaling. It can be breathing. It can be tapping. There are a million things you can go do. Go hit a yoga class. Number 2, take information from reliable, quality sources if you want to. There's nothing wrong with religion or systems and communities and cultures until there is something wrong with them. But we really need to have trusted sources where we can be educated, where we can learn things, where our minds can expand. This is really important for our intuition to have material to work with. Nobody's an island unto themselves, so be selective in what you consume and who you allow to influence how you see yourself, your children, and the world. Fact check things. One of the best things we can teach our children right now are critical thinking skills. Not just how to ask AI, but how to fact check, how to think critically about things. Take in information that you think is helpful and expansive. One of my favorite litmus tests for this, and in decision making in general, is why. Why would I do this, and what does it create? Why would I have this conversation with this person? Is it because I want to prove that I'm right or superior? Is it because I'm hoping to change them somehow for my benefit? What am I hoping to receive from this? Is it to be seen and understood? Is it to create love and goodness? A really easy question is actually from Scripture, and it's, by their fruits ye shall know them. What does this create? What does this article create? Is it fear mongering? Is it rage baiting? Perhaps that is written with an agenda, and we can consider that. And if it's an agenda that we want to stand with or set down. And then step number 3 is to dig deep within yourself. We've taken in information, we've calmed ourselves down. Now we need to look within ourself. How do I feel within my own body? What feels like the next best move? And this is where it's really important to understand logic and allowing. I use the word whimsy. I don't know that that's the best word, but allowing to let go of things and for things to be free form and illogical. This is where you gauge how much of each this is. And then you move forward and you do it. For example, my big announcement. For a long time, I have done this podcast. We're on episode 331, my friends. I started it as COVID was beginning in April of 2020, and I have not missed a week. I have dropped a podcast every single week, and I have loved talking to you and imparting wisdom to you. Many clients have come to me through this podcast, to which I am so grateful for. I am also 48. My youngest is going to be a junior in high school this next year, and I'm tired. Can I just say, we do not talk about hormones and perimenopause and life as much as we could to support one another. As a 48-year-old woman who is so blessed to be able to have a lot of autonomy, financial freedom, time freedom, I consider the amount of energy, brain power, stamina, interest that I have in life and what brings me joy and how I want to spend the back half of my life. And right now, it means putting the podcast on the shelf. I think I'll circle back to it. I don't know when, but I've got to trim things out that aren't entirely serving me and my family. And this podcast, I love it. It takes me several hours a week and a lot of brain power, which is great. I love imparting all that I feel and know to you, and I absolutely love it when people come up to me in the wild and they know who I am and they talk to me and they tell me how awesome my podcast is. And I love hearing your reviews when I see those online. And even though it does not make logical sense, because this podcast I know is helpful and it helps my business because people find me through it and come and be my client. So it's helpful to you and it's helpful to me. It is time to pause it for me. And I have struggled with this and wanted to follow my gut, and also really struggled with the fear of what that would look like and the implications that it would have for both you and I, because I do not take your ear lightly. I am so grateful that you give me your ear to share my information and what I have learned and my experiences and application with you. That is a huge mantle of responsibility, and I do not want to be fickle, and I do not want to let you down. Following my intuition, I know that it's time to pause. And so that's what I'm moving forward with. I am practicing what I am preaching. Now, of course, this podcast will still exist on my website and all of the podcast platforms. So please continue to review and share it. I might sporadically drop an episode, especially if you happen to email or DM me that you would like a specific topic addressed. I would be so honored. But I am not going to consistently be dropping an episode every week for a while. And it might not be until next year or the year after. I have so many different ideas for directions that I want it to take. One thing I really want to move toward is connection. I love personal connection, and a great way to create that in my life and yours is through hanging out in person. And so I'm working on retreats, just retreats for mothers and also potentially retreats for parent or parents and their teenagers to do more adventuring things. I frequent Zion National Park and would love to share that piece of me with you. So if you haven't joined my email list, this is one of the best ways to have direct access to me, my friend, while the podcast is on the shelf. You will be the first one to know about retreats that I am going to host, and you can always hit respond to any email that I sent you, and it comes straight to me, and we can have a conversation. Because the last thing I want to do is lose that connection that you and I have, but I want it to take a more personal space. So I invite you to go to heatherfraser.com, scroll to the bottom of that homepage. You can just put in your first name and your email so that you can hear about ways that you and I can interact on a more personal, helpful level there. This is not a goodbye. It is a see you later. And in the meantime, please reach out if you need anything. heatherfraser.com. I am here for you. I am still actively coaching and helping parents just in a way that is more respective to my time and energy so that I can best serve everybody in my life. We'll see you later, my friends.